1.5 now, only 300 milliseconds behind the men. But what's happening on the turnaround is producing tremendous injuries. When I was in the media room at the BMP 2 years ago, and I told Rafa that he was going to be injured, and I got in a lot of trouble over that, but he was out for a month. And then this last year, I said, you're going to be, you're going to be injured again at worst. He was out 7 months. But it put 6 Gs on that turnaround. He put 6 Gs of force on his leg, and the human body can't take 6 Gs.
Did you happen to see the video that was produced by the New York Times in regard to that specific movement on his backhand?
No, I did not.
It's worth a look. So anyone, I would encourage you to look up New York Times video on Rafa Nadal's two-handed backhand and the stress that it puts on his knee. That was something that Dan McCain had shared with people on Twitter, and I picked up on that. That was very instructive. So in terms of physics, what are some of the keys that people should understand about physics, especially as the speed and spins are increasing?
Well, I think it's important to know that if you swing upward and the racket's vertical at impact and you swing it 30 degrees up, you don't get much spin on the ball, but the ball at 50 miles an hour lands 20 inches inside your opponent's baseline. If you want more spin, you've got to increase the vertical lift. And we do three-dimensional stuff, and we get the skeleton of the players, and a lot of shots of Rafa going up 60, 70 degrees. So he can hit hard with a lot of safety. But if people just understand that it doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or an advanced player, you want to hit a particular shot, you got to do a particular thing, because the ball is only on the strings 4 milliseconds. I know that there are still people who think they can roll the racket over the ball, but it's such a myth. I still hear it once in a while on the Tennis Channel and stuff, roll over, but no human's been able to do that. We even tried to get Agassi to do it years ago, but 4 milliseconds, the ball's on the strings, and it takes 50 to 70 milliseconds for that sensation to reach your cortex. So by the time you feel it and then also take up the time to send the signal back, the ball's long gone.
Yes, and one thing, I'm a big fan of Oscar Wagner, who's also has a science background, but is more kind of into the art and feel of the game. And one thing I do enjoy about his teaching that I use is to direct the student to truly experience that moment of contact. Because it's easy to kind of brush past it or to think that it's just something along the path to hitting the shot, but to really, work the hitting zone and feel the ball and the strings and pay attention to that. What do you think about that?
Well, it's feeling the ball on the strings. No one has ever felt it, because it takes too long before it can reach. But you don't feel while it's on the strings, but you feel it after it's gone. But on the other side of the coin, I think it's important to, some people get a joy out of just hearing the right sound. And I think that's very, very important. So
so then you get your feedback on whether you've struck the ball well or not. That's the goal?
Oh, yeah. The big thing, I think, is I know when I had a school in Switzerland one time, and Roger Federer was kind of a very emotional little guy and had a lot of problems. And he said, I really, this is at the Australian Open, he said, I realized that my behavior was sabotaging my success. And now I think what he does is he really enjoys the moment. He enjoys the shots that he's hitting, and I think that's right on. But one of the things, the biggest thing, is the intuitive players don't feel much because they have a tendency, the beginners, they have a tendency to look out to see where their ball's going before they even hit it. And the then they don't enjoy it that as much. But as Roger said, he had to learn to leave his head still until the upper arm touched the chin. And we got tons of photos of him. The ball's long gone, almost crossing the net, and he's still looking over his upper arm.